Hi everyone, this is Mr. Muhammad, and today I'm going to show you a couple of examples how to find the domain and range of an inverse function, as well as how to actually generate the function itself. So the first thing I'm going to do and this is equals to the cubic root of y minus 8. So to get rid of the cubic root, I'm going to cube both sides. So this will be power 3, and this will be power 3, and it will yield x power 3 equals to y minus 8, because they're going to cancel each other out. And if I want to solve for y, so y becomes x power 3 plus 8. And as you can see, it's really verified. So that's negative f of negative 1 of x becomes x plus 8. So this is x power 3 plus 8. And this is actually the cubic function translated 8 units upwards. And as you can see, it's starting the inflection point right here at 8. So now let's talk about the domain and range of this function quickly. So first, any number can actually be placed on x, because this is a cubic root, not an even root. So it's the fourth root or the square root. We can't have negative, otherwise it will generate imaginary numbers. We're not going to deal with that. But this is a cubic root, it's odd. So even though if it has any negative inside, it will be no problem. So all real numbers can be the domain of this function. So the domain of the main function is all real numbers. The range also, it can have all values outside of this function. So what we need to do for the inverse function is actually flip. So the domain of the main function will be the range of the inverse function, and the range of the main function will be the domain of the inverse one. So it will be the same. The domain is equal to R, and range is the same, equal to R. And as you can see, this is actually verified by the grapher. On the right hand side, as you can see, both functions extend from negative infinity to positive infinity in both sides. Moving on, we have another example, a reciprocal function, and I need to find the inverse function f negative 1 of x. So I'm going to replace x's and y's, so it will be it will be x equals to 6 over y plus 4. And to do this quickly, we are going to multiply y times y plus 4 and divide by x at the same time. Or I like to say it this way, I'm going to exchange these terms with each other. So it will be y plus 4 equals to 6 over x. And finding y alone, it would be 6 over x minus 4. And that means it's the reciprocal function multiplied by 6, and this is actually vertical stretch, and then it's translated downwards 4 units. So f negative 1 of x becomes 6 over x minus 4. And let's talk about the domain and range quickly. The domain of the main function can be any value except negative 4, because this will give you a infinity. The range will be any value, as you can see, except 0, because this function will never give you 0. So what we need to do is just switch them for the inverse function. So the domain and range of the inverse function will be, the domain will be r minus 0, and the range will be r minus 4. And as you can see on the graph itself, it shows you that in the first graph of the main function on top right here, you have an asymptote at x equal negative 4, and also another horizontal asymptote at y equal to 0. So that verifies the domain and range. And even when we flip them for the reciprocal for the inverse function, as you can see, also you have vertical asymptote at x equal to 0 and a horizontal asymptote at x equal to y equal to negative 4. So that verifies the domain and range. So if you have any more questions or concerns, just let me know, and let's move forward with this.